Hello everyone and welcome to Harv's World for the final episode of Pirates Bay Farm. Now, it's a little bit early in the morning. Have to tell you, my truck is just about out of fuel, so I need to fuel that back up. A lot has happened. I have advanced things quite a bit. It's been 2-3 days, something like that. Anywho, you can see there's a good chunk of change in the bank at the moment. I hope to put a big cap on that before the day is done. But what has happened? Well, I had about 150,000 liters of canola in the silo. That has been sold. The barley field came in. I harvested that and put 249,000 liters of barley in the distillery. So whiskey production has been cranking for a little while now. So right now there's whiskey, rum, and vodka cranking out over there. And last night I started harvesting up the wheat fields that I planted, that I leased from Elizabeth. And that's almost done. I need to run over there this morning and just top that. I'll finish that off. I did get that wheat transferred over to the distillery. So we have 4 different types of liquid pleasure going over there. I did replant my big field 44, in wheat also, just to have some extra. Because while Elizabeth small fields did produce quite a bit, in fact, by the time they're done, it's going to be well over 100,000 liters. I think we're going to need plenty more in the future to keep those industries running. What else has been going on? Well, I'm going to do a big sell-off today. Going to find out just to see what these industries are going to provide for the future of Pirates Bay Farm. I want to see how well they're paying us back. And we'll check into that here in just a second. And also, I have to tell you, we're going to talk about one last pirate. And that pirate is Francois L'Olonnais. I came up with this guy just doing a little additional research, figure out exactly who I wanted to talk about this time. And well, he might be the most brutal pirate I've ever discovered. Not only that, he died a spectacular death. Now, I'm going to tell you some things that aren't for the faint of heart today. This stuff is a little bit brutal, let me tell you. And that helicopter, it has been around a lot for the last couple of days. Kind of creeping me out a little bit, if I'm honest. Anyway, yeah, I've been using Elizabeth's equipment over here. But Francois L'Olonnais, and if you can't tell just from his name, yes, he was a Frenchman. He was from France. But he was just hideous, brutal. Words cannot describe just how awful this guy was. But as many of the pirates we've discussed are and have been, he died most spectacularly. This wheat, those 2 fields brought in 96,000 liters of wheat. Well, this wheat is more crop that I could have sold, but now it's going into industry. So it is what it is. Industry has always been the focus. Farming was the means to an end. And now I've got my industry fully functioning, mind you. Although, to be honest, I'd probably have to be cutting more trees soon because we're starting to get low on lumber. We're under 1 million. Yeah, 847,000. So we've been cranking it. Needed to produce more barrels, which meant more boards, etc., etc., etc. Okay, I'm going to run this truck back up to Elizabeth's farm, drop it off, grab my truck, run down to the shop because I have something sitting there that's going to help me with the rest of the day. So, Francois L'Olonnais, a French pirate who started his career as an indentured servant. Now, if you don't know what an indentured servant is, basically, you say I'm in France and I want to go to the Caribbean, somewhere in the Caribbean. I'm going to go to some rich guy and say, hey, rich guy. No, I did not turn that corner sharp enough. Hey, rich guy, if you'll pay my way to the Caribbean, I will pay off the debt by working for you for, let's say, 5 years. And so that is indentured servitude. So Francois did just that. He made his way out to the Caribbean. And here's what I have picked up today to help me in my endeavor to sell off some of this stuff. Because I think there's going to be quite a bit of it. And I'm going to need plenty of pallet space. Let's get this party started, shall we? I'm going to start with sections. Remember, we sold these off once before. Well, the sawmill's been working so hard that it's created another 20 pallets worth. I'm going to grab those up, and you can see they've just spawned up right over here. Very nice indeed. And then I should have more of those in pallet production. Let's take a look and see. I'm sure they are. Yep. Another 4 pallets, which spawn over on this side. No problem there. Let's get to work. Now I'm going to load this trailer with as much, these trailers, actually it's a pair, and I did pay for them outright. This isn't a lease or a loan or anything. These bad boys are mine. In fact, I want to tap this in because I'm pretty sure I can grab all 4. I might not be able to lift all 4, but I can at least move all 4 over there. Of course, by the time I get done tapping this in, I probably could have just grabbed them and been done with the whole thing. But anyway, I'm going to do it this way. Maybe. Now, watch, it won't work the way I wanted it to. No, it did. I'll be darned. What do you know? See? I told you I couldn't raise them up. It's alright. I'll just drop them off right here for now. And start moving some more. So old Francois, once he gets done with his indentured servitude, now he was indentured for 10 years, and by all accounts, he handled that servitude with no problem whatsoever. I mean, he was on it like a car bonnet and did his time without complaint. So once he's done, he doesn't necessarily have a specific goal in mind per se, or destination, or whatever you want to call it. He's just pretty much going to go out into the world and see what there is to offer out there. And of course, I mean, as anybody would, what does he do? Well, he turns to piracy. He becomes a buccaneer. And that doesn't necessarily mean he got his ears pierced. Yes, that old bad joke, or that bad dad joke is being resurrected right here and now by yours truly. Anyway, and at some point, he develops a real hatred of Spain. In fact, by the end of his career, actually early on in his career, I should say, his nickname was the Bane of Spain. Because he hated those guys with a passion. Now, needless to say, they weren't too fond of him either. But, yeah, Spain was like his personal enemy. And a big part of that, I think, stems from early in his career. He was trying to sack Tortuga, a city on the island of Tortuga, and his men captured the city and was holding it for ransom. They wanted 20,000 gold pieces of 8. And instead of paying the ransom, the governor sent a ship to kill off L'Olonnais and his crew. Well, as it turns out, L'Olonnais wasn't going to go down without a fight, and let's see, to put it quite simply, he killed the entire crew. He captured the ship, he killed the entire crew except for one person. And of course, not only did he kill the entire crew, but he very much, I should emphasize, tortured them, mutilated them, did unspeakable, horrible things to them. Watch out for that sawmill. It will get in your way. And left one person alive. And pretty much, you know, I mean, you've probably all heard the stories, but if there's a situation where somebody leaves one person alive, it's so that they can go back and tell the tale of what happened. What happens when you cross Francois L'Olonnais? Well, this is what happens. And from that point forward, he swore that he would never give another Spaniard any quarter whatsoever. The governor didn't act honorably and just pay the ransom. He tried to kill L'Olonnais and his crew. And now L'Olonnais has a grudge. A big, fat, gnarly grudge against the Spanish. Alright. You don't want to watch me fiddle around with all these pallets, so I am going to get these trailers loaded up, and we're going to see what we can make off these sections. Now keep in mind right now, I have $307,000. I want to know exactly where I stand when all of this is over. Well, as you can see, for being nothing but scrap lumber, that was a nice chunk of change. 45,000. 45,000 for just sections. I mean, that's not even boards or beams. That's just like end pieces that were cut off and nobody's going to use. Outstanding. And we're not even to the good stuff yet. Imagine what happens when we get there. So I've been thinking about it, and I think I am going to take a chance and sell off some barrels and sell off some pallets. call me crazy. You wouldn't be the first, trust me. Not as crazy as old Francois L'Olonnais. Man, this trailer train is going to get the better of me. I can see it now. I'm out of practice pulling anything this long. Let's hope this will do it. There we go. So let's see. Yep, we're going to have... That ought to be just about right. Pallets will come out there. Barrels will come out there. And we'll look at our menu here right quick. So barrel production. Look at that. 400. If I spawned all of my barrels, I would have 54 pallets of barrels. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get 11. But I'm not going to do it that way if I can't focus on what I'm attempting to do. Barrels. 11. Ugh, it's killing me. Killing me, Smalls. Killing me. 11. There. 11 pallets of barrels. And then pallets. I'm going to get 11 pallets of pallets. And there's that. So Francois L'Olonnais. Now he hates the Spanish. Hates them with a passion. Can't stand them. Wants them all dead. So he's out pirating the Spanish main in the Caribbean. You know, that's pretty much, you know, where Spain holds court in the Caribbean. And he actually manages to capture at one point. Now, keep in mind, Francois here, he is more along the lines of a, let's say, around Henry Avery's time. So while Henry Avery was out in the Mediterranean getting his pirate on, old Francois was doing the best he could to make life miserable for anybody in the Caribbean. So old Francois, now you remember me talking about Charles Vane and how a Spanish ship had sunk in a hurricane or a treasure ship, and all that gold was on the beach. Well, old Francois happens upon a treasure fleet. Now, Francois by this time had really made a name for himself. A big name for himself. Well, this barrel's going to go in there. Nope, they sure aren't. They're going to be a pain in my tuchus. And yes, you can see, for this very reason, I did have to go down and get, or up, I should say, back up to the industry and get the skid steer loader. But anyway, you know, he made off with a significant prize, like several 100,000 pieces of eight. Now, he's considered one of the most brutal pirates to ever have lived, but he's also one of the most successful pirates ever to live. However, it was not without his failures. Let's see, we were at 252 when I started selling this stuff off. Because we're over 100,000 already. Over 100,000. Oh, and I forgot I have to hold the barrels because, well, these industry pallets can be just a little bit finicky from time to time. Anyhow, see what I mean. So, you know, Spain was not impressed by old Francois, but they were also incredibly frightened of him. Now, old Francois, I don't know if he considered himself a bit of an anatomist, but he has a reputation for having an exceptional understanding of human anatomy, and therefore he had an exceptional understanding of how to torture people. And he was quite brutal about it. Now, he enjoyed a practice which is I've never heard of before, and I kind of wish I still had never heard of before. But it was called, I believe it was called wolding, wool, like sheep's wool, wolding. And what they would do is they would tie knots in a piece of rope, and then they would take that rope and they would wrap it around someone's head so tight that their eyes would pop out. I told you, these stories about old Francois are not for the faint of heart. You know, he was known to just slice off bits of skin. You know, just enough to make someone scream. I mean, I don't know about you, but I say ouch when I get a hangnail. So, and there was one particular incident. He and the remainder of his crew were fleeing for their lives. Now, this is really kind of sickening and disgusting, but he and his crew were fleeing through the jungle for their lives. They captured some Spanish prisoners because they were essentially trapped. And of course, the Spanish aren't going to be willing to help old Francois, because Francois has not exactly been kind to them. Well, old Francois grabs one of the prisoners, takes out his sword, now keep in mind that he was attacking them in a place that they knew well, and he didn't know at all, and he needed a way out. Now, I'm not making excuses for him. He's a real piece of work, but I'm just saying this is the situation. Took out his sword, one of the prisoners standing there proceeds to cut the man's heart out of his chest and starts gnawing on it in front of the other prisoners, and pretty much says, if you so-and-sos don't find me a way out of here, or tell me how to get out of here right now, the same is going to happen to you. This was Francois L'Olonnais, which frankly is a bit of a silly name in my opinion, but hey, he's dead, so I don't have to worry about him coming and eating my heart. Wow. But, again, he was a very successful pirate. I mean, what was the name of that city? Maracaibo. He was going to Maracaibo, or he wanted to sack Maracaibo, let's say. And Maracaibo had a fortress that was defending the city. It was very well defended. And nice sharp turn. Now he's a pirate, so you think attack by ship. Well, no, he was also a very strategic, very knowledgeable and strategic land fighter as well. So it was nothing for him to take his men. And now, keep in mind, by this time, he had 8 big, heavily armed ships at his disposal, and he had a crew of over 600 pirates. 600. Well, he went to the far side, marched his crew through the jungle, and attacked the town from the side that was undefended, because this fort had 16 big guns that could easily have butchered his ships and taken him out. But he ended up kicking the crap out of them. They surrendered within an hour. He held the city hostage, burned it, they raped, they pillaged, and then they moved on to San Antonio de Gibraltar on the eastern shore of Lake Maracaibo, and they took Gibraltar also. So he's really, really horked off at the Spanish, because these are all Spanish holdings. He held the city for ransom. Again, this is another situation where he's ransoming a city. We're going to hold it unless you pay us. Well, the city paid him 20,000 pieces of 8 and 500 head of cattle, and he just kept ransacking the city. He took the money, he took the cattle, he walked away with another 250,000 pieces of 8, gems, all kinds of stuff. And this is pretty much where he got that nickname, the Bane of Spain. Okay, what else do we have to sell here? Let's look at our industries and see. Fertilizer's not an issue. Barrel and pallets have been taken care of. What's in the sawmill? Because it's been cranking here. No, I'm not going to sell the bars, because I can cut the bars into boards, and I'm going to need all the boards I can get to replenish. So I think the sawmill is done, except for the bark mulch, which I will need a tipper trailer for. I think it's time to move to our distillery. So as far as whiskey goes, we're just a little bit shy of 4 pallets. Vodka, we've got 7 pallets. Spirits, I've got just 1, because the wheat just went in there late last night. And then rum, we're up to 10. 10 pallets, and I've got a pallet of molasses. Outstanding, absolutely outstanding. We're going to save the rum and molasses for last. We're going to do that separate, because that was our goal to begin with. So, whiskey. 3 pallets. If we get another one before we're done selling, I'll sell that too. Vodka. Get our 7 pallets out of there. Spirits. We have only 1 pallet. But that's okay. I'll take it. And there they are. All sitting out here. Nice, neat little casks. That's our vodka. That would be our spirits. More vodka. And this is our rum sitting right here. Look how pretty that rum is stacked up there. And we can monitor what's here. So, okay, gonna load this up, run it down to where it's gonna get sold, and we'll check in and see. Now, we've made 155,000 so far today, and we haven't even touched the alcohol yet. And I gotta go get the pallet. Yeah, that thing. I'm just gonna have to buy a second one apparently. Okay, what do we got here? Okay, this is spirits. No, these are not. This is whiskey actually. So we've got our whiskey here. And let's see what the whiskey's going to pay us. I am very interested to see how this sorts itself out. Oh yes. $11,000 for 2 pallets. I'll take it. I will take that. Yep, so there was another 9 grand. Yes. So far, $203,000 off of industry. That's not counting the stuff that I've sold before, too. The bark mulch previously. And I don't even remember how much that was. We've probably made 100,000 or so leading up to this. We'll say 70,000. Because I know I sold bark mulch, and I'm pretty... Oh, I sold all of those beams. Because I didn't realize I was going to need them for... or that I could cut them into boards. So I did sell a whole bunch of beams at one point. Oh, and I sold off... oh, it probably is 100,000, so... Industry has already paid back well over $300,000. We're just going to hit up... hit up the rum now. And this isn't even counting the fact that, you know, I haven't even started selling off that fertilizer. I've got over 50,000 liters of fertilizer now that I can start selling to the locals. So there's that also. Rum. So much of the rum. I'm only taking 9 pallets though. I've got 10. I'm taking 9. This is our molasses right here, by the way. Like I said, I've got 10. I'm only going to take 9 because I'm keeping 1 for myself. I am keeping 1 for the Harv. So that is 9 pallets of rum. Oh, molasses pallets must be smaller because I got 2 pallets of those. Hey, whatever. Oh, they're 2,000 liter pallets. Oh, because they're in these IBC tanks. I see. Yes, very nice. Very nice indeed. Well, we're going to start with the molasses, by God. Because, honestly, I'm kind of curious about this molasses. I hadn't really paid attention. I didn't realize I would be making quite so much, but... and maybe I can't sell it here. Okay, I'll have to look into that. I can set it aside for now, though. I'd have sworn I could sell it here. Okay, I don't know why this place should buy the molasses, but it's not going to. Oh well, moving on. Can't mess around with molasses all day. It's not worth that much money anyway. It's actually not. It's only like 400 per 1,000 or something like that. So each of those is worth about 800. The rum, on the other hand, I'm kind of counting on the rum to put me over the top here. Okay, those 2 pallets of rum, if I hadn't fiddled around, was well over 10,000. Well over 10 grand. This one will let me know for sure. Yep, 10,200, baby. So the rum is the winner. The rum is the fiscal winner of the day. $5,000 worth of rum right here, baby. And yes, I know I kept a pallet for myself. I don't think, as hard as I've worked to make this happen, one pallet of rum worth $5,000 is going to hurt anybody. Now, I don't really know what I'm going to do with these pallets of molasses back here. I do know I'm going to run these trailers back up to the industries and then head back up to the farm and see what needs to get taken care of up there. There's that bloody helicopter again. I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you, he has been around a lot lately, and it's making me nervous. So I dropped off the trailers at the industry. It's been a good day as far, I mean, the industries are definitely paying back. Made $250,000 today, $250,000 easy, and on top of what, we'll say another $100,000 that the industries had already paid. It's probably a little bit more than that if I'm honest, but so over time, these are definitely going to pay for themselves, no problem. And it's all in place now. It's all sunken costs, so we are good to go. Now, Francois L'Olonnais. This was one mean dude, as I'm sure you kind of understand at this point. Anyway, he decided to take an expedition to Honduras. He gathered up 700 pirates. 700 pirates. He was a big deal, apparently, if he can get that many guys to follow him. And well, things didn't go. This is where Francois starts to have problems. Again, he's off his ship. He's marching toward San Pedro, and they hear he's coming. Spanish soldiers come out, and they basically ambush him, start killing off his men. All of that type of thing. He goes running back to his ship, gets back to his ship, gets stuck on a sandbar. He's trapped. And at this point, he's in Cartagena. And I am going up here to this, and I need to keep going down the road. Talking about Francois and not paying attention. Anyway, he gets stuck on a sandbar. And apparently they were running low on food, so he decided he needed to go into the jungle in search of food. Well, at this time, there were still plenty of indigenous tribes roaming around Central America and South America. And one of those tribes, called the Cuna, Kuna, Kuna or Cuna, whichever one you prefer, they capture Francois and his men. And these guys are apparently not too far out of their depth because they have heard of this butcher, Francois L'Olonnais. And it also turns out that this particular tribe happened to be cannibals. What the heck's going on here? Just drive casual. Cut back. I can cut across here and get in through the backside, maybe. Huh. Anyway, the direct quote about this tribe and old Francois was that they tore him to pieces alive, throwing his body limb by limb into the fire. And they cast his ashes into the air so that no trace or memory might remain of this evil, evil man. So even these cannibals had heard and despised Francois L'Olonnais, and he came to what is clearly, I mean, a lot of these guys got hung, but old Francois, he apparently got eaten. Okay, this is not right. I'm not stopping. I'm just drive casual, Harv. Drive casual. Now, I've told you guys before, this island is only a few years out of a communist government. These guys do not have their ducks in a row, and frankly, civil... They're down there at the biogas plant, too. Civil rights are not a major priority. So, I am not getting picked up by the cops, whatever reason. Oh, that's not good. Time to go. Nope, I'm not stopping. You know, it would be particularly funny if that guy's name was Woods Rogers. If you remember your pirate history at this point. Nope, not stopping. Nope, no way. He might be able to outrun me, but this truck has four-wheel drive. Yeah, you keep coming, buddy. Ha 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 ha! Oops. Well, they can definitely be angry with me for that. But like I said, I am not. Not going into their custody. No way, Jose. And what they don't know that I know about this area back in here. It's a nice little area back in here. And there's lots of nice old buildings back in here. And this right here looks like the perfect spot to park a truck. So long, truck. So long, Pirates Bay. Yeah. I'll have to toss my cell phone. But that's okay. I will definitely be calling a few people. Try to get hold of Elizabeth. I don't know what has happened to her. But I'm not sticking around for these cops. No way, Jose. No, thank you. Nope, nope, nope. But I do have an attorney. And that attorney will be sorting this out for me. I'm just not going to stick around to find out what needs to be sorted out. So that's going to do it for our time here on Pineapple Bay or Pirates Bay Farm. I've really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. I'm definitely looking for suggestions for what country to go to next, because this is part of the Harv's World Tour. Got to make sure those cops aren't following me down here. I'm sure they're not, though. They have run me into some funkiness, though. There, I need to get to the beach, because that's my ride. Anyway, I appreciate you coming along for the ride. If you have a country you'd like to see me go to next, put it in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button down below. Again, as always, I appreciate you coming along for the ride. And until next time, take care.